This video is a follow-up to the overdue review for Persona 3 Reload, so if you haven't seen that video, you might want to go see that and then come back to this video, because a lot of the things I say are referencing things that I said in the overdue review for Persona 3 Reload. And as such, going forward, there will be full spoilers ahead for Persona 3 Reload, so again, if you haven't played the entirety of Persona 3 Reload and you are sensitive to spoilers, you might not want to stick around, but feel free to come back once you finish the game. With all that out of the way, let's get into what this video is. In the overdue review for Persona 3 Reload, I said that my least favorite part of Persona 3 Reload was the cast of characters and how they never necessarily felt like a true friend group in the same way that the friend group felt like a friend group in Persona 4 Golden. Man, I said friend group way too many times just then. And no, this video isn't to say that I'm wrong. In fact, I'm doubling down. I still don't think that the friend group in Persona 3 Reload are a friend group. In fact, they aren't your friends. I'll flat out say it. They are not your friends. Coming hot off of Persona 4 Golden and experiencing what has to be the best friend group in any video game, if you know of a better one, please let me know in the comments below. I would love to play that game to experience that friend group. But yeah, after playing Persona 4 Golden and experiencing what has to be the best friend group in all of gaming, and then coming to Persona 3 Reload expecting, hey, that's just a franchise staple of Persona. I'm probably going to get that same thing here in Persona 3 Reload. It might be a different flavor, but all in all, it's still going to be just this great cast of characters who are just such a good group of friends. But like I said, I'm doubling down. They are not your friends. But after having heard myself complain about the friend group over and over again as I was editing the overdue review for Persona 3 Reload, a thought occurred to me. Yes, they are not your friends, but it's because they're your family. When you look at every member of SEES, every person who lives in the dorm room at one point or another, they all come from broken families or families with absent parents, or just no one knows what happened to their parents in the case of the main character. Or at least I don't remember what happened to them. Maybe they mentioned it and maybe I just have bad memory. The point is, everyone at SEES comes from a family that is just missing something. So when a group of people with broken families come together, they end up finding what was missing amongst each other. It's a tried and true classic trope that's been used countless times in some of my favorite movies. Shout out to Guardians of the Galaxy, amongst others. I came into Persona 3 Reload with the preconceived notion that these Persona games were all about friendships. But that's not the case for Persona 3 Reload. In this case, it's more of a familial bond that you'll grow with everyone in SEES, rather than the investigation team from Persona 4, or, spoiler alert, I am playing Persona 5 Royal right now, the Phantom Thieves in Persona 5, which they are a friend group. The investigation team are a friend group. SEES is a family. When you look at everyone on the roster, you can see how they would fit into a familial role in some sense or another. You look at Junpei, and one of my biggest complaints with Junpei was that he was just a dick and not fun to be around. Guess what that sounds like? Sounds like he's your older brother. I don't have an older brother, but I am an older brother. And based on everything I've heard, maybe it's like having a Junpei in your life. And then you look at Yukari, and, well, she could either be your sister or, your girlfriend, because that's how the game was made. It's a little awkward, but stick with me here. Stick with me here. Same can be said about Mitsuru. She's either a motherly figure or your girlfriend. Again, stick with me here. That's just how the game was developed. I'm not making the rules. And then Fuka, very much a little sister figure. Or, your girlfriend, because that's how the game was developed. Again, not my fault. Stick with me here. I'm about to make it make more sense. And then you have Aigis, who doesn't fall into a familial role because she is definitely an outside entity. She's a robot. Come on. And yeah, she does become more human by the end of the game, but because of her distance from everything in humanity, I feel like that's what gives her that separation from this family, and is why I think, I haven't looked it up because I feel like there might be spoilers out there for the Answer DLC that I don't want to see. But I'm pretty sure Aigis is the canonical romance for the protagonist in Persona 3. In which case, that makes a lot of sense when you consider the fact that Mitsuru, Fuka, and Yukari are like developed as sisters. So it makes a lot of sense that Aigis, the outside entity, would be the canonical romance character. And then you have Akihiko. That's a father figure in a sort of way because he is a grade above you. He gives you advice, life advice, how to fight, what to eat, things like that. And he'll sometimes tutor you just like Mitsuru does, and Mitsuru and him are the older ones of Seas, so that's why they are the mother-father figure, I would say. And then you have Ken. Another issue I brought up in the Overdue review is that I didn't like Ken because he was this little kid who shouldn't have been here in the first place. And hey, that's what it's like when you have a little brother. Is it or is it not? A little brother who's just always just like, hey, let me come, I want to come, That's what Ken was. He's just a little brother. And I was just like, I ignored him the entirety of the game because I was just like, I feel morally weird about this, having a child here. But, it's just like a real family, you're stuck with each other. Something we will get back to after we talk about Koromaru. He's a dog. He's the family dog. I mean, come on. What do you want me to say? He's a dog. And then we do have Aragaki, who, like I said, when it comes to family, you're just stuck with people, You have that creepy uncle on your family, and Aragaki. That's what he is. Honestly, I don't know what Aragaki's whole deal is because, as you know, because you watched the Overdue review, then you came here. I didn't talk to Aragaki. He was weird. He creeped me out. Seemed mean. So I have no idea what Aragaki's story is. Maybe he is a creepy uncle. Maybe he isn't. But to me, he seems like the creepy uncle because he's also Mitsuru and Akihiko's age, and he's just there. I don't know anything else about him. I also realized while I was doing this, when I wrote down everyone's name on this document, I wrote everyone's first name except for Aragaki because I did not know what it was. I think it's Shinjiro. I looked it up earlier, but yeah, I just thought that was funny that in the entirety of the Overdue review, I referred to everyone else by their first name and Aragaki by his last name because I didn't know him very well at all. I don't know, man. But yeah, like I said, when it comes to family, you are just stuck with the family you have. Sure, you can have a found family eventually, but you are stuck with the family members you do have. Which does bring me back to another complaint I did bring up during the Overdue review, which is the fact that everyone lives together. And the fact that everyone is sort of just forced to be on this team because it just so happens that these particular people are the people who stay awake during the dark hour. And that just further emphasizes the fact that they're stuck with each other. And that's what families are. They're stuck with each other, whether they like it or not. Shout out to Aragaki. But yeah, I just wanted to make this video because after hearing myself repeatedly complain about the quote-unquote friend group in Persona 3 Reload, I was just like, is there something I'm not getting here? And that's when it clicked that they aren't friends. They are not your friends. They are your family. And honestly, that's a stronger message than them just being friends, I feel. Looking back on Persona 3 Reload with those lens, it honestly feels like a much better game overall when I think of it that way. Like, I did put the disclaimer in front of the Overdue review that I am playing Persona 3 Reload directly coming off of Persona 4 Golden, and that comparisons were going to be inevitable. It turns out, those comparisons were really not something I should have been doing because I expected this friend group to be good friends, great friends, the best of friends. So when they weren't that and they were something else, I was just like, ooh, this isn't what I expected. Turns out it was something different all along. Was it something better? That's a different conversation for another day, I'm sure. But yeah, if you recall what I said in the Overdue review, I said that the weakest part of Persona 3 Reload was that the friend group never truly felt like a friend group. But now that I've realized that they were never supposed to be a friend group, never supposed to feel like a friend group. Suddenly, the game doesn't have a weakest part, which makes you wonder where it ranks overall. Like I said, a different conversation for a different time. But yeah, that's basically the entirety of the video. That's what I wanted to do. I just wanted to, not necessarily clear my name, but set the record straight, sort of. Because I felt icky about how often I bagged on the characters in Persona 3 Reload. So much so that I made this video because I realized, hey, I wasn't wrong, but I could provide more context onto what I am truly feeling at the moment. You know what I mean? Something like that. And because I don't know when the next time is I'll be talking about Persona 3 Reload, I might as well toss this in here as well. I have since come to terms with the fact that the protagonist died at the end of the game. And man, that hurts. You know, that hurts. Obviously, like I said in the overdue review, I was a little bit confused by it, but of course, through you guys in the comments and just how, you know, the 5 stages of grief go, I have come to terms with that I have died. Not me, but you know what I mean. And it's so sad. It's such a bummer. Like, when I replay this game, because, again, I am going to replay it at some point. I don't know whether it'll be this year or next year, but I have plans to replay this game because it's very good. It's going to hit me so much harder now that I know that is what happened, you know? And in the overdue review, when I was editing it and I was using footage from the end scene where everyone burst through the door, I even mentioned then that I was tearing up while editing because, yeah, it is just... what a bummer, you know, what a bummer. Seeing how happy everyone is to be like, hey, well, you remembered, but that's not going to last very long, is it? And it just sucks. It really hurts to think about. And also, like, how do they explain the body, you know? Like, what do they do? That's, like, I apologize for being such an inconvenience, just being a dead body they have to deal with now. Like, who do they call? Do they call the police about that? Like, what? What do they do? That's really awkward. That's got to be a really awkward conversation for them to deal with. So apologies for that, you guys. While you're here, I'll give you some quick Persona updates because I know a lot of you out there very much enjoy the Persona videos I make. I am about 45 hours into Persona 5 Royal right now, so almost halfway there. That video is still a long ways out, so hey, stick with it. Hopefully it'll get out soon, but we'll see how it goes. It's a really, really long game. I'm in August, but still, I mean, that's still a lot of months left. I'm 45 hours in, so that'll be out sometime. And then there's Persona 4 Arena Ultimax, which I did say I am doing, and rest assured, I still am going to do that. It's just that game is a lot longer than I expected, and it's not the game I expected it to be, so there's a lot of, like, adapting going on with that game for me. So yeah, that's still gonna come. Very much still likely to be before Persona 5 Royal overdue review, but, you know, that's what's going on in the Persona realm of videos behind the scenes, if you are interested. And yeah, that's it. That's the whole thing. I did the thing. I hope you liked it. Also, if you liked it, watch another video, press the share button, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't. Do all those things to boost the algorithm because I like making these videos, but obviously I still have like a full-time job and stuff. So the more people who do see them, the better I feel about making them, and then it's a whole cycle, you know? So do all those things, please. And thank you. Also comment. Did I say that? If I didn't, also comment. And until the next video, as always, stay safe and play some video games.